Hey everyone, good Wednesday evening. I hope you guys are doing well. I am live here. I did not come live last night because by the time I was ready to, it had gotten really late and it was close to my bedtime, and I made the decision that I was going to go to bed instead of coming live. So I apologize for that, but I have to, I made a decision at the beginning of my challenge that taking care of my health and and getting my healthy sleep was really important. And as if you guys read my post earlier today, there are other places in my challenge that I have been struggling. And that was one thing that last night I didn't want to, that's one thing that I've actually been really good about, which is surprising because sleep is something that I've always struggled with. But that's been one thing that has really been a rock through this. So I was not willing last night to compromise on that. But I am here live tonight. So hope everybody is doing well and having a great week so far. We are at Wednesday. The week is halfway through. We are in hump day. And heading back into the weekend, and for us, another set of holidays this weekend, which is actually really exciting. My parents are coming to spend the weekend with us, the holiday with us, which is always really nice. They get here tomorrow, so my kids are excited, and with the homeschooling and everything else, they'll get to do some of the fun stuff with us that we've been doing during this time. So it'll be a nice visit. Usually when they come during school year, my kids are at school all day long and don't get to really enjoy Grandma and Grandpa being here. So it'll be they're going to be here for probably like 10 days. So it's going to be a fun time. But I wanted to come live tonight and really talk to you about something that I've been thinking a lot about today. Tomorrow is October 1st. Tomorrow is, flip of the new, a lot of times we talk about a new month, a new start, a new move forward, especially if you've been stuck. And as I've been talking about the last couple of days, I've been struggling. I've been, if you saw my post today, like I referenced just a minute ago, it's been a tough week. But I made a decision that I've got my head back in the game. I'm going to finish this piece of my challenge really strong. And I already have in the works what's going to come next. And I'm really hoping that all of you guys are going to want to join me in what's coming next. So stay tuned because I'm going to start announcing that really soon. But it's going to be good. It's going to be really good, taking everybody to the next level to finish off this year really in a good, strong place. But I wanted to talk about the concept of what ifs. I hear it a lot from people. I hear it in my own head, a lot of the what ifs. And a lot of times our what ifs are negative. Our what ifs are in, not a great place. What if I try this? What if I start this and I'm not successful? What if? And we let those what ifs control us. But the thing that is so important, and the idea that's so important, is shifting that what if. If your what if is negative, what if I don't reach my goal? What if I fall off? What if I struggle? What if? But when you're starting to find yourself saying those negative what ifs, stop and ask yourself, but what if I'm successful? But what if this does go right? And just change that and start to allow yourself to create that vision of what life could be like if you actually hit the goals that you're setting for yourself. Because I'm here to tell you, as somebody who's been having a rough time and who's struggling, you're going to hit those goals if you keep working at them. There's no such thing, you've heard me say it, that 2 F words in my life are fine, which I've been talking about a lot, and failure. Both of those words are not allowed, because the only time that failure actually happens is when you quit. When you quit trying, when you give up on yourself, when you quit on yourself, that's the only way that there's failure. My struggles this last week, I don't look at it as a failure. I don't look at any of this as a failure. I look at this as it's going to propel me forward. It put a stop to me temporarily. And not even really. It didn't even really put a stop to me temporarily. It gave me a very eye-opening piece. Our journey is not a straight line. Our journey, a weight loss journey, a whatever journey, is not a straight line. It's all zigzaggy. It's all over the place. And every time we zigzag and go all over the place, we learn, we grow from it, and we can say, okay, this could have been better if I did this, or this is where I'm going to go now. And what if I did this differently this time? So I'm going to test it out. That what if? How do you switch it up? How do you change it? How do you power through? But part of it is starting to focus on what is positive in it and what can be positive in it. It's really interesting, something that I was talking actually to my daughter about not so long ago. We were talking about the fact that how my husband breaking his foot at the beginning of the summer completely shifted everything in our lives. And at the time we thought it was terrible, and it was terrible. I mean, I don't want to see anybody break their foot. He was miserable and it was made for a rough time. But because that happened, all kinds of things bounced into a series of change. And I said to my daughter, what if he hadn't broken his foot? You know what if that would have been? We wouldn't be going to Florida for the winter. I can guarantee that. None of the things that happened all summer long would have happened the way that they did, because it all triggered a series of things. So when we start what-ifing things, start flipping it. Start creating those positive, start thinking about, what if I make this good? What if this works right? So, I constantly am saying, okay, what if I don't reach my goal? But what if I do? Not what if, when I do. I know I will. How long is it going to take? I don't know how long it's going to take. But making that change. And sometimes hitting our goal is really, really scary, and that's what stops us from hitting it. I can vouch for that. And I was actually having a conversation with a client today about that, because she said to me, she said, what if, like many of us, she's struggles with a food addict and sugar addict and all those things. Hello, me, big time, big struggle there. So I could completely relate to what she was saying. And she said, well, what if I get to my goal and I still can't control that? And I said, but what if you get to not what if you get to your goal. When you get to your goal, what if you can control that? What if you've learned some of these tools to get to make it through? What if you, are you going to be perfect with it? Nope. I've been struggling with this for 4.5 years. Am I perfect with it? Nope. As you can see from my post earlier today, it's definitely a struggle. But it's not the same struggle that it was 4.5 years ago. So what if when you get there, it's not as hard of a struggle? What if when you get there, you found so many wins that you found, you've learned new ways to cope with it or to maneuver around it? Start thinking in that way. Start shifting your brain from the negative what ifs to the positive what ifs. And when you do that, when you start making that shift over, things start to move forward. Are you going to have rough days? Yep, you're going to have rough days. That's just reality. Is this if you're following my program, is this program easy? No. It's simple, but it's not easy. There are a lot of things in life that are simple, whether it's this program, whatever it is, that can give you structure to start achieving your goals. But if it's something that you're really struggling with, it's never, ever, ever going to be easy. It's always going to be difficult. But difficult's not bad. It's the road. It's the process. It's everything that you go through to get yourself there. And switching that, we get stuck in those negative what ifs all the time. What if I can't do it? What if I fail? What if? And when we stop and switch that, what if I succeed? What if I actually pull this off? And start to put that and start to allow ourselves to envision what's happening, envision ourselves in that positive. That's how we get there. It's the whole idea of lead from the future, act in the now. What if I get there? What is that going to look like? How amazing is my life going to be? If you had told me 4.5 years ago that this winter I would be spending 6 months in Orlando, that we would be leaving our house and renting a house in Florida for 6 months and going and, homeschooling our kids and living this dream life, I would have told you were crazy. That what if never would have even crossed my mind. I would have said, yeah, right. But what if? So start dreaming those what ifs. What if that's possible? And then the more you dream that what if, the more you start thinking those positive what ifs, the more you have the ability to actually create them. Is it going to work exactly the way you plan it? Probably not. But I can tell you, more likely than not, it's going to work out better than how you plan it. It's going to work out better than how you dream it, because you can't even dream it the way it's going to play out. Like I said, if you had told me in March that, even in this past March when COVID started, that this was going to be what we were going to be doing this next winter, I would have probably then said you were crazy. But it's all the things. If you had said, what if your husband breaks his foot in this summer and it totally changes everything that's going to happen in your life and you're going to end up living in Florida for the winter? Okay, how do those things go together? But they do, and I'll tell you how it happened. And it's the sequence, when you see how it happens, it all played out exactly the way it was supposed to. So he broke his foot in the beginning of June. When he broke his foot, we had been planning to take a family vacation at the end of June, beginning of July. When he was out running the errand where he broke his foot, I was at home doing research and getting ready to rent a cabin up in northern Michigan to go away because we had been cooped up for too long and we needed to get away. And he came home. I hadn't booked anything because I wanted to run past him what I had found. He came home with a broken foot. Well, needing to go to urgent care because he thought he broke his foot. So he came home from urgent care with a broken foot. So that put that entire thing on hiatus. We were not going to go away with him having a broken foot. He couldn't participate in any of the stuff we were doing. So we put our trip on hold till the end of the summer. Because we put our trip on hold till the end of the summer, we decided not to go up north because prices had gone up. Everybody else was planning trips to northern Michigan and had gotten expensive, and to find it just didn't work. So we decided, and at that point we had invited my parents to come along with us on this trip. And so instead of going north, we also, at the time, we started watching Disney opened back up when we were going to do this. Disney was not open yet. Disney was not anywhere on our radar. We were not going to go to Disney. But we started seeing Disney open back up and people talking about how great it was and how the crowds were low and how it was the best trip ever. And I said, I want to go to Disney. I really wanted to go back to Disney. And so we shifted and said, what if we change our trip? Instead of going north, what if we go south? And so we started looking at south. And we found an amazing house in Asheville to go to, bigger than what we were looking at in northern Michigan, for less price. My parents came with us, and then we were able to go from there down to Disney. And that's where we started dreaming. Well, what if? What if we go there for the winter? What if? Because those what ifs all started becoming positive. And I'll tell you, when that what if we go there for the winter, that actually came from me. And I said it to my husband, and he was like, oh, that can't happen. And I said, but what if it can? And he said, show me how it can. And so I went and started doing the research, and I said, here's how it can. And he said, you're right. It can. It could be a possibility. So we started dreaming about it and started picturing it and started figuring out how to make it work, because we said, what if it can? Instead of what if it can't, instead of focusing on the negative, instead of focusing on how it wasn't going to happen, we started focusing on how can we make it happen? What things have to happen in our lives to make it happen? And we're making it happen. And that's the power. That's what you can do. Start dreaming what if it does happen. Whatever that goal is for you, whatever that thing is that you want, start. Tomorrow is October 1st. Tomorrow is a new start for a new month. Step out of your comfort zone. Step out of the life that you're in now and start saying, what if I make changes? Sit down tonight, and I'm actually doing this. I actually started it before I came on here. Sit down tonight and start writing all your what ifs. Start writing your goals. What do you want to see happen in the last part of this year? What do you want to see by January 1? Where do you want to be? How do you want to run for it? And start saying, what if I make that happen? And then let's work together and make it happen. You're going to watch me over the rest of this year come out with some really strong things. I'm making it happen. I'm figuring out my goals. I've started this tonight. I sat down tonight and wrote out what these goals are, and creating my goals for myself, for my family, for my kids, all of it. And we're going to run with it. Is it going to be easy? No, it's not going to be easy. Am I going to hit stumbling blocks? Probably, but that's okay. Stumbling blocks are okay as long as we don't let them totally trip us up and freeze us. As long as we are real and say, you know what? I hit a stumbling block. So now am I going to jump over it? Am I going to walk around it? Am I going to move the block? What am I going to have to do to get past it? And that's going to be part of all of this. So start dreaming, start shifting, shift that reality, shift that thought from what if in the negative to what if in the positive. And you can create your dream life, and we can create our dream lives together. Have a great night. I am going to sign off and finish up what I want to get done tonight so I can make it in bed on time because I'm sticking to that. And I am super excited to post my picture of my day challenge today because I rocked it today. I made a decision this morning that I was done with it, and there will be no little dots on my thing because I rocked every piece of it today. And I'm going to go to bed knowing and feeling great about that. So have a great night, and I will see you guys back here tomorrow. Bye.